Good morning, 7th and 8th graders. Hopefully you're doing well today, Monday. May the 4th be with you. So for today, I want to talk about the composition activity 12. Okay, so for the practice routine, you're continuing to practice that piece that you picked out last week and doing some other practicing, warming up and doing some exercises. So for composition activity 12, you guys have done those modules, so you're pretty smart with No Flight now. But if you need to review any of that stuff, that'd be okay. All right. So go into that composition module if you need to refresh yourself. So for this assignment, it's just a composition activity reflection. So you are going to either go into Note Flight, which is the way I prefer. You're going to go into Note Flight and you're going to compose something for your instrument, or you can improvise on your instrument at home and write down some stuff. So you can either print off blank sheet music if at home, if you have a printer, click on one of these, print that off, and you can write in notes. Okay. Or you can just write, longhand the letters do, mi, or C, E, you can just write them down. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to write the rhythm necessarily if your Note Flight doesn't work. Okay. But if your Note Flight is working and your internet is fast enough at home, that'd be the best way. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you people first, the people who have Note Flight working at home. So you're going to go back to that folder that we were just in, assignment 12. And you're going to click on Create Music with Note Flight. And to just kind of have some more space, I do kind of recommend that you open this up in a new tab, just because that's going to be a little easier for you. You'll have a little more space on your page. You're going to have to look at it inside of Schoology. Okay, and you're going to create a new score. And so think about what instrument you have. You should write for only one instrument. So it should be, for me, I'm going to write for trumpet because I play trumpet. So I'm going to choose treble clef. Okay. Now there are a few things that you're going to need to do before you even put in notes. If you put in notes now, it's okay. But I would prefer that you put in your instrument right away. Okay. So you're going to change, it might say piano. You're going to change that to trumpet or whatever your instrument is. So you might have to watch this a few times. Okay. Make sure to give it a title. So this is going to be man's activity. Okay. And we're going to call it by Mr. Man here. Okay. These things actually really help for you to put your name in. Okay. Next, you're going to highlight your whole thing. You can click by the clef and it'll highlight everything, or you can click, hold the shift button, click the last measure. And we're looking for 15 to 20 seconds. So we're probably looking for a couple lines here. But we want to change the key signature. So if you look at the measure, this measure, and you click on the change key signature, all right, we want it to be B flat. Okay. The other way you can get to that is if you click on the menu and you go down to measure, change key signature, and then you can get to it that way too. Okay. We want it to be B flat. Now that looks kind of strange. Okay. You've got these flats here. You don't normally have flats for trumpet. So when we hit this tuning fork right here, show in concert pitch, now it's in written pitch. Now when you write it, this is going to be what you normally have when you're playing trumpet. And this is just a good habit to get into. Can you still compose if you don't do those steps? Yes. But if you want to print off your music in the future or use this for something else, you're going to want to make sure that you go through those steps. Okay, right? If I change my instrument to saxophone, now I've got that sharp here. Okay, but if I change the tuning fork, it's back in those two flats for B flat. So you want to make sure that you're doing that key signature change. If you need to rewatch this video, please do. Okay. All right, so you're going to write some music. You need to have different notes and rhythms. It has to be playable. Okay. All right. So if you can't play it, don't write it. And I'm not trying particularly hard right now. I would love for you to write something that you're trying to make sound good. That would be ideal. You'll notice that you have to put in the note before you can change the rhythm of it. Okay, and then you should have a few. If you want to add more measures, there's a couple ways you can do it. On the measure thing, there's the plus button, or you can go into measure and then add measure after. Right? We're just going to go like this. Okay. And that's how you can kind of add some more measures in. Okay. I'm going to copy. You can do this kind of thing too. All right. And then instead of having a high note here, I'm going to make it a low note. All right. That was the control down arrow to make it a long note. And let's end with a nice long G. Okay. So here's my 10-second song or 15-second song. Okay. So let's listen to it once. All right, so there's my little song. Okay. All right. Make sure to hit save. Okay. Now, when you go into your Google assignment, mine looks different because I'm a teacher. Okay. But you're gonna copy this link up here. And another thing that you can do if you really want to get crazy, you can go into score details and you can share score. And with whatever, let's say all site members. Okay. And then anyone with the link can view, right? Show this, whatever. But you can copy a link from here if you want. Yeah, I think that's how you're going to do it. But I can get into it either way. So if you copy the link, here we go. Copy link. Score link copied. Okay, so maybe that's the way to go. Go right there. Anyways, or you can copy it from up here. And what I'd love for you to do is right at the top of this assignment, paste that link in. Okay, and that way I can find it easily. All right. Your title, I know that I was kind of silly by calling it Man's Active Activity, but you should probably call it Composition Activity 12. Man Composition Activity 12. That would be the thing to call it. Okay. All right. And you're going to highlight what you did. So you did rhythm creation, right? I'm going to have to undo a lot of this because this is actually in the master copy. Rhythm creation, you're going to do change key signature. You're going to click on all these things, okay? And what we're looking for is, so you did key signature. You haven't done multiple staves yet. You did note duration adjusting. You did a lot of this stuff. Okay. And then down below, you're going to say, I changed the key to B flat. I wrote a melody by adding rhythms and notes, right? Talk about each thing that you did and what you did with it, and that'll help you kind of learn how to make sure that you're doing things. But I adjusted notes, rhythms, and all sorts of stuff. I wrote a melody by adjusting rhythms and moving pitches. This would be the way to do it. Okay, and then you will say, my melody is very easy for me to play and sounds like butterflies. Whatever. Okay, and it might not be. It might be you wrote it to sound like Darth Vader, and then you made it sound like, and it might be that you wrote it to sound like Darth Vader and ended up sounding like butterflies. It's not. This is not where you say I am no good at composing because I'm an idiot. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for what did it sound like to you at the end. Okay, did it sound like Darth Vader? Did it sound like butterflies? That's what we're looking for, and that's what I mean by not judging it. Okay, what in the world or what music have you heard before that it sounds like? Okay, and not, well, I did really bad because I didn't try to work on this assignment at all, and I didn't give any thought to it, and so it sounded bad. No, that's not. I don't. Maybe that's helpful for you, but it's not helpful for me to hear that, and it doesn't really matter. Okay, to your grade, that opinion is not relevant. It's not wrong. Your opinion isn't necessarily wrong. It just is not relevant to what we're doing. Okay. All right. So now let's say that you're, so then you'll submit that. Okay. And I know it looks different than mine. Okay. So I'm going to undo those things that I added in. Now let's talk about if you write your piece. If you write your music, without Noteflight, because your internet at home is not fast enough for Noteflight. So in that case, you're going to, write, you might go to print some blank sheet music and write it down there. You might just write, my song goes C, 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 E, 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 D, 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 E, F, G, right? And you don't have to put it into a Noteflight. I mean, you don't have to put it into this activity. You could if you really wanted to, but or you could just play it and write it down like that. If you were to write quarter note C, right? Eighth note, you could do it that way. You could draw the rhythms on a piece of paper and write the letters under there. I don't have to actually see the composition, but I do want you to highlight in this document, Noteflight didn't work, so I wrote by hand or improvised. Okay. And then here you would describe how you did it. So you would say, I improvised and recorded it. You would say, I printed off some sheet music and I wrote it on there. You would say, I took a piece of scrap paper and wrote some letters down on there. However you composed it, you're going to write down there. And then here, it's going to be a little tougher because you might not have Noteflight to play it back for you. But you're going to say, yeah, this is what I thought it sounded like. Okay? And so that's how you're going to do this assignment if Noteflight doesn't work. All right. Hopefully that works for you. Make sure to submit it. Make sure to save. Okay, if you're in Noteflight, and we're going to try to use this as kind of like we're going to build into something later on. All right, so make sure that you're playing. Make sure that what you're writing is something that you can play. You can test that by actually trying to play it today. And that's another thing that you can do. If you want to turn it into me, you could Screencastify this and then send me your recording of you playing it. That'd be another way to turn it in if you don't have Noteflight at home, if you want. And you just paste that YouTube link right in here. So that's an option too. So, but the point is today you're going to be creative. You're going to write something for your instrument to play. Please don't spend too much time on it. Don't go crazy, but have some fun, okay? And be creative. All right, good luck, and may the 4th be with you.